Who's excited for TFcon?
Who's hyped for nuts? I was telling these guys about how I've been trying to get into almonds and cashews as a replacement for potato chips more often because it's a little healthier. But I notice when you eat a ton of nuts at once, as though you would with potato chips, you know, when you open the bag, you're like, I'm going to have a third of the bag and then it's gone. If you start doing that with nuts, you get like nut mouth, where like you're, I don't know, it's like this sort of like weird, just like buzzy, fatty feeling. And everyone keeps looking at me when I say I got nut mouth. And they were like, don't talk about that at the start of the panel, so I won't.
Off to a great start.
Welcome to the panel. This is the Transformers Podcasters Roundtable. The first one. We are the bread of the convention. The convention is the nice, meaty filling, and we are the vapid carbohydrates that begin and end the experience. We will be doing another one of these after the closing ceremonies, and it will be a lot more loud and relaxed, if that makes sense.
And depending on your dietary restrictions, you want to avoid us.
Yeah, it depends on how bad the nut mouth gets. So, we've got representatives from multiple podcasts here. Right now, at least, we've got 4 representatives. So why don't we introduce ourselves, starting over yonder with the man who gave me my first spudger.
You may have heard of me. Or us. We're Radio Free Cybertron, and I'm Diecast from Radio Free Cybertron. We've been around for 20 years. Almost old enough to drink.
19. You're as old as I am.
No, 20.
It's 19.
It's 20.
It started the same year I was born.
All right.
You can drink in Canada.
Yeah, you're fine.
And buy weed now.
In Canada? I'm moving to Canada.
Me too. Done.
That was quick. I'm Eric Crownover. I'm on Radio Free Cybertron sometimes, but my show is Steel City Bots. It's a younger crowd of Transformers fans, so yeah.
I'm from the podcast that wears a collared jacket to their panel. Hi, I'm with WTF at TFW. We're the podcast that's hosted on TFW2005.com. We've actually just this year hit our 10-year anniversary, which I've continued to celebrate with now approximately 95 days of saying I'll think of something to do to celebrate it next month. So we're continuing on. It's almost through the year, and maybe we can hold out that record.
And my name's Daryl. I'm Cybertronian Beast from the Transmissions podcast. Woo! Thanks. Woo! And yeah, we actually just passed 5 years of recording the lovely tunes that we record. And they, yeah, we are a twice-a-week show. One show is toy-related, one show is media-related or comic book-related. So we do a deep dive into those 2 facets of the fandom.
Hey, RFC, look at the babies. Look at the babies over here. A quarter of your age. Look at the toddler. Do you feel old?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I mean, Eric, he's not even old enough to drink, so...
I mean, in Canada. Here.
He was like 8 years old when this movie came out. That movie that was just playing before the podcast.
So, I was trying to do mic share etiquette, but I just realized we each have a microphone. Mm-hmm. So it's mine.
Take it. Take it. It's yours.
No sharing.
B, we've been actually been getting listener questions on WTF and TFW from more people whose like childhood generation is not Beast Wars or G1. Like we just had a question from someone asking about what to do with their childhood toys, which are Unicron trilogy, and it's an interesting thing to think about because like. It's not just, oh, your stuff's the baby toys from when I was in university, but it's also like like someone who grew up then, like they're like toys from the 2000s were produced in like exponentially higher numbers than toys in the 80s. Yep. So like childhood toys for people of your age, it's got to be a different feeling almost of like it's not like your toys are these relics to try to find. It's like they must mean something more personal You know, because like you could technically probably track down most of them.
Yeah, it's
Cheap,
not nearly
too.
as hard.
We can get those cheap.
Yeah, and also cheap.
Better for me.
Except when I want to find a Cybertron Galaxy Force Optimus, then they all are $150 until I find one.
Then they're cheaper.
Then they're cheaper
Yeah.
because that's the law. So each of our podcasts, like we're representing 4 different podcasts of 4 very different ages. Ours being the Gen X podcast, obviously. So like we're technically the cool one, you know.
Are you?
I mean, we're too cool to say we are. Okay, when you say that, we're like, whatever.
My mom listens to the podcast. She says it's really cool.
Ours or
That
just in general?
sounds about right.
Mine.
We're the
would his
podcast
mom
where our
listen to
members
your
need
podcast?
cataract
Because our
surgery.
podcast is cool. I don't care. You know, whatever. So with the different approaches we have, right? Like one thing we like to talk about in these opening panels, where we are on a little bit more of a strict timer, and I'm looking at it right now. Each of our shows brings something different. Our show is kind of like we are a Transformers podcast who readily go off topic constantly because we've kind of just been the same slightly shrinking pool of hosts ever since we started, and we like to just bring a lot of our other interests in, partly to keep our own energy going.
It's kind of like your motto.
Yeah, it's by Transformers fans, for Transformers fans.
Let's go off topic.
Yeah. Whereas over here, you guys, like, you have a much more detailed topic list, which is usually put together by a very intelligent guy who doesn't seem to be up here right now, but I'm sure he's out there doing good work somewhere. Jeremy.
I put the topic list together. Yeah, but
Wait, really?
yep, mostly.
Really intelligent guy who puts the topic list together.
But
I've
What's
been on the
Jeremy
show
do?
several times, and it's the best experience is that topic list. It's fantastic. Would you like a nut?
no, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
I don't know where those have been.
Well, this one's going in my mouth.
I was going to say in his mouth.
The shows that we do are they're regimented. They are very topic focused with very strict segments of Transformers focused stuff. And we have our host, which is unfortunately not here, Charles. He keeps us on topic if we try to stray, and it does happen. We get off topic onto like Game of Thrones or something like that, and he's like, guys, bring it back. We're talking about whatever the hell's going on, and
BotBots.
Yes.
we have to talk about BotBots at some point. But yeah, no, we are dedicated to keeping that because we know that sometimes people don't know what the hell Kamen Rider is, myself included.
Oh, that's like 5 years ago. Me and Seth just talked a bunch about Warhammer 40,000 lore a couple weeks ago.
right.
Reboot Gilliman, Primarch of the Ultramarines. Yo, anyone? Nope. Guess you're all heretics, according to the fiction. So you're coming from, like, as you were introduced, like, it's weird to say because technically we're all adults. I guess
Technically,
in
yeah.
Canada.
Barely.
In Canada. So what approach do you guys have with Steel City Bots? Like, do you feel like you're kind of like are you reacting to other podcasts you heard growing up?
So basically, we don't hate the movies, and that's what makes us different from most people.
That's amazing.
Since, a lot of us grew up having, different generations, but the movies are a key thing. So, like, we understand that they certainly have their flaws, but we're still probably the most, I would say we're probably the most enthusiastic about movie stuff compared to most podcasts, which,
I'll give
it's
you that.
fair. Everyone has their own favorite stuff.
Well, I mean, thank goodness we've got like this invisible bullet shield up in front of us, right? Because none of y'all can see it. Because like technically, if you think about it, a lot of people who really grip onto G1, right?
Yeah.
How necessarily defensible is G1 as a piece of hard sci-fi media compared to the Michael Bay movies? They're both extremely silly in two completely different ways. Arguably, the Michael Bay movies, being more modern, are a lot more dissectable.
Yeah.
There's more money going on in them. There's more in there. But technically, right, your hardcore 80s G1 is the best fan, and your hardcore, I guess, like movies is my childhood fan. You're both coming from like my childhood is this highly flawed media that can be memed out and turned into YouTube fodder like that.
Yep.
Go find all the C Studio G1 episodes and just run seconds of that animation. And I don't know, it's fascinating to me. Like, that's why I love hearing on our podcasting questions from folks who grew up in a different era, because now, like, there's so many eras to grow up in. and so many more valuable, different perspectives. Now going over to as I say that, to the oldest podcast in the room.
Grandfather.
Yeah, I said our podcast is the one where, our members need to go get cataract surgery and adopt a bunch of kids.
Just the one?
But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the oddball in the group because I actually like the movies. I also realize they're flawed, but
Way to steal our thing.
I still watch them. I love the Hasbro stuff. Hasbro's great. They invite me to all their events, so I love all that stuff, and I love all the third-party stuff, as my wallet can attest to.
Hasbro's going to take all their free stuff from you if you keep saying that.
But yeah, I mean, and just coming to an event like this is just so special. The people that run this event are just awesome, and I'm so lucky to be able to do this at this point in my life. Along with all you fans, this is honestly like my favorite time of year.
No, mine too. And like, there's always something fresh to be excited about. Like this year, oddly enough, the thing I was really hyped about is playing the TCG. We were doing that downstairs, and me and Aaron were both going in like, oh, I wonder if we'll see like 8 people. And like, we left the room a bit early with like 20 people in there. So I'm really excited about like tomorrow and Sunday, like playing some more TCG because that thing's been my jam.
Really?
But you had something.
I haven't played that game. I mean, if anyone wants to know, that's the Transformers trading card game that just came out is what they're talking about. And Hasbro actually sent me a set of cards, and I still haven't played the game.
You didn't pull a Nemesis Prime, did you?
No.
Okay,
no.
You're fine. It's okay. Otherwise, we'd have to agree that none of you saw something happen.
You don't want that card. Just give that to me. And
yeah.
You didn't see Yoshi pull one live?
No, I heard about that. I brought that up when we were downstairs. Everyone was talking about Nemesis Prime. Like, yeah, we just heard about a guy who went to Target to buy one booster, pulled Nemesis Primes. Like, I'm not even playing.
burn it on the video. That's a good thing to do.
I'm gonna eat it. Whatever. But you're mentioning to me.
Oh yeah. There's another podcast here that's not up here.
Darn it!
Rob, Autopod Decepticast.
Hey,
get up here!
You know what's a better number than 4? 5.
Get up here, man.
I'm
Hello.
a big fan of all you guys. Aaron.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, yes, I'm Aaron. I love Purdue and cars. I work on helicopters because I'm a doctor. Would you like a nut?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're Vangelus.
Don't get nut
Yeah.
breath.
Those-
Nut mouth.
Well, I'm getting healthier, but not quite healthier, you know? Hey, cheers. Cheers. Dink. They touched.
So catch up. Tell us about your show because it's interesting.
I was late. I'm very starstruck right now. This is my first event like this. I don't even know how to talk to you people.
Oh, just don't talk to us. Talk to them.
So, Autopod Decepticast, I know a lot of you might be interested in playing cards on Sunday, but we have a little event that's going down on Sunday at 3 p.m., same time as card time. If you can take a break or you lose a match, I don't know how it works, but come and check us out. We're a podcast that's been going on for about a year and a half now, and all we do is talk about the 1986 Transformers the movie. That's it. We've been breaking it down minute by minute for, like I said, a year and a half, and we're about to actually close it off in terms of we're at the credits right now. I think we've got about 2 episodes left to really do that. And,
I was about to ask you, like, what do you, like, are you divvying up the credits? And, like, at what point do you guys hit the one where, like, wait a second, I never heard that guy talk.
Right.
That character, I never heard that guy talk.
Yeah.
And you got to go back to the old episodes, right?
So that's complicated. Not everybody really gets a shout out, you know, like maybe not like a certain key animators or whatever. But in terms of the meat and bones of the show, I mean, you know, I think we've been trying to break down every detail that we possibly can, and we've been spending, you know, like I said, a year and a half really digging in deeply, and I think we're 3 guys that care about that movie in particular, and we've kind of dug some kind of unique insights. It's sort of comedic, you know, depending on what your comedy sensibilities are, and it's a fun time. And we'd love for anybody that is available that day to come out and check it out on Sunday if you're not too hungover, too into a card game, or just got to get back to wherever the hell you came from.
I don't mean to like get hung up on this show, but I've got like these questions brewing in my mind.
Sure, go for it.
So given the pacing of the movie, did you guys go from like, we're going to start this podcast, also this is really, really frantic, and then like suddenly it just sort of tapers off? Because like you're going through like the part Nelson Shin was really into, and then you get past like the opening act, and it's sort of the movie calms down a little bit.
You should be on this podcast.
I just listened to the.
I don't even know that dynamic.
It's because I watched the movie too many times to the point where I actually haven't watched the movie in about 5 years. It's when you can't anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You definitely go through those phases, and I will definitely be going through one of those phases as soon as this thing's over in a couple of weeks. But I would say, in a roundabout sort of answer to your question, that everybody that has participated in this movie or the production of that movie has become heroes to us in a way. And even characters in the movie who we all kind of maybe fluff off as a culture or whatever, and I don't want to act like I'm really in the culture like you guys are, but like Daniel, I think in my mind is the hero of the movie now. And all the players, all the voice actors, all of that we talk about on the podcast and their experience and everything that we can dig up, although we haven't gotten as journalistic as to get a Nelson Shin or anybody really on the show. It's just a few guys BSing for an hour.
I was going to say the reason you wouldn't want me involved is I had this immediate idea when you said credits are multiple episodes. This is a stupid idea. I was like, you should Facebook stalk and track down literally everyone in that block of credits.
They would love that.
And try to get, hey, we're doing a podcast
Some of them don't even really have robust IMDb. You can't find photos. We've stalked as many people as we possibly can.
Okay, good. Okay,
to try and get contact.
Yeah. Well, just the idea that you contact someone going like, hey, listen, we're doing this, we lay out the podcast. We're on minute 3 of the credits, and you are one of the key animation assistants, and we were wondering if you'd like to...
18 out of 75.
And so we're really rolling the dice, and we're hoping to get like 3 hits.
Right.
Just being transparent.
Nelson Shin won't talk to us for some reason.
He keeps getting mad.
But at any rate, so yeah, please take the time. If you're not doing anything on Sunday, we would love to hang out.
I'm like knee deep in the cards, but it's mostly because like this year I got back into tabletoping, as they call it in the bits.
I don't even know what that is. I'm sorry.
It's playing games on top of a table.
Okay, gotcha.
It's like
really complex.
It's like in here that's like video, right? But this is real. This is on a table.
What if you put Yahtzee on a table? Does that count?
That's tabletop Yahtzee. That was a tabletop nut.
Yeah, but we don't know where it was before that.
It's all right. I took vitamins yesterday. I'm sure I'll be fine.
That's how that works.
Yeah. It's cumulative, all right? Like, I got those really nice, tasty, chewy vitamins. I ate like 15 of them, and I'm good for the next 3 days. 5 days. What? You only have 7.5. It doesn't matter. I'm healthy. What's up? I eat a lot of nuts. So we were talking about what like sets our different podcasts apart. Clearly, yours is like, I think, the most unique amongst the 5.
I guess we can't really compete in a world where you can't compete against people like you all who cover the culture and cover what's new that's coming out in the news and all that. So I think, and I don't think that I have the constitution to really like do that. I mean, I collect the toys and all that, but the movie meant so much to me as a kid, and the gentleman that I do the podcast with, that, and there is so much to talk about. You can do it minute by minute and find plenty of things to say.
I was going to say, like, do you guys think you might move on to, like, not necessarily Transformers, but might just figure out another movie?
We don't know what we want to do, and I'm pretty sure that our significant others are ready for a little break. And
we got season 2 already planned. It's going to be great.
I think.
No, don't worry. It'll be great. It's going to be. We'll pull out Metropolis. It's a bit longer, but
I think there's plenty of things that are 86 movie related, that are tangential to the minute-by-minute nature of what we've been doing that we could talk about, that we'll figure. Maybe we will start doing interviews. Maybe Like, I think there's plenty of things to talk about, to still unpack about that movie, but we'll figure it out. I don't know.
Just go into the Michael Bay movies and just keep going through.
No, I was going to say the Malaysian dub was
This is the place to put an opinion out.
Go track down the 3 voice actors.
Yeah, the 3 voice actors for the dub of Headman.
I mean, technically, a Michael Bay movie, there'd be technically more going on minute to minute if you really frame by frame.
But do you really want to talk about everything that's going on in every minute in that movie?
Every frame of CG cost more than the entire 86 movie, so technically you're discussing more money. And that will result in more revenue, because A plus B in something equals money. It's how podcasts work.
Definitely.
Sorry, I keep zeroing in on you, but this concept is so fascinating to me.
I guess. It's all good.
Also, you're on the end of the table, so it's kind of like I can look right over here.
I don't want to steal the glory.
Yeah, I want to look over here.
So I just want to know, like, what are you guys excited for TFcon this year, other than the cards that you mentioned? Like, is there any people that are going to be here, exclusives? I don't mean to jump right in, but MMC doing Dijengar as the reformatted thing. I like Zengar Zonvault a lot, and they're I need that thing, and I need someone to make me a Friggin-Gantic's sword about this big to go with him.
I don't know what you just said.
Yeah, me neither.
You gotta look. Okay, it's a whole panel, is what it is. That's my panel. It's happening right after this one. It's the Zengar Zonvault panel. We're all going to be the blade that cleaves evil, and the wind carries this Akuma. That's what I'm excited about.
I just like the pizza. No.
Giordano's.
Chicago. Okay.
Giordano's.
It was amazing, life-changing. I actually had it today for the first time. But the thing I'm most excited about is basically just hanging out with actual, Transformers friends that I've been wanting to meet for forever. So, shout out to Michael, Soundjack, and Rob, and Alyssa, they're all cool. And then our one co-host who is arriving late tonight because he's been going through the most unfortunate set of events that set him really late to get here. So, poor Miguel. But yeah, I'm just excited to hang out with people and go buy toys tomorrow.
And also Melvar is here from Radio Free Cybertron.
Yeah.
What?
He enjoyed watching. He enjoyed watching the first part of the Transformers movie.
He just wants to watch the 2007 movie over and over.
I know. He doesn't want to listen to us.
I was about to say my controversial opinion about that, but I'm not gonna. What are you excited about?
Toys, figures. I've got a suitcase full of stuff that I hope to somehow offload while I'm here and fill up with
I brought
toys.
my one. I brought my BotCon 2007 sealed Springer and Huffer I've been trying to sell for 3 years.
Right.
It's for sale, by the way.
This will be the year.
It's on the highest platform I could find. I'm just shouting that out.
Right.
It's $70 US.
I'll think about it.
All right, cool.
That's what everyone says.
That means no.
Can I sell some more stuff like this? This is fun. Do you guys have a table going on?
Speaking of selling stuff, no table going on, but we do have some artwork. All the people involved in our podcast are also visual artists, and we'll be getting some visual art while we're here. But there's a few things that's the stuff I've got to offload to put the toys in. So help me out. It's good stuff.
If you guys want ask this guy. Unless it's BotCon, Springer, and Huffer, then ask me.
We don't have that.
Yeah, they
No
don't have it.
competition there.
They don't have it. Not like me. That's the one thing I sell. And I have one. Daryl from Canada.
Yeah. Well, I'm here to check out more toys and try and get more G1s that I'm slowly trying to finish off a set of. But I brought some comics to get signed. I like to get the artists and the writers to sign the books.
How many did you bring? Innocent questions. How many?
Yeah, well, I have a shoebox that I carry in my backpack that will hold around 65 comics.
Oh, 65.
Yeah.
That's it?
But I added a little bit to that too.
How?
Oh, okay.
How'd you add it?
I had to create another box.
Oh, you brought 2 boxes.
I did bring 2 boxes.
Is that 130 comics?
No.
Okay.
No. That's I'm probably around 80.
80
comics. Yes.
Just a little 15 comic.
Yes.
box.
Well, this is a bigger show with more artists and writers and stuff. So there's more people here.
Okay, Daryl, I have something to reveal to you. I brought comics to get signed this year, too. I brought, I believe, either 5 or 7. I can't remember.
It's a lot.
Is there a certain way to get a comic book signed? Like, is there a certain etiquette? When is a good time to walk up and ask about it? When's a bad time?
Oh, well, there's really no bad time. I mean, if you're walking up and asking if they can sign 100 books, then that's a bad time. But if you're just asking them to sign 1 or 2 books.
Or 80.
80 books. 80 books is bad, but I don't do that.
Yet.
But
That's
I
tomorrow.
would assume that gets divided up among the
Of course, of course.
So it's not like anybody, one person gets
I'm not a jerk. But no, it's you 1 book is no problem. Everyone's happy to sign 1 book. And then 3
Like,
or
do you-
4, 5, 10 more.
Do you say something? Do you go like, it's time?
Do it.
Most of them that I generally will have lots of stuff for will run from me now.
So if I just have 1, they're going to be like, oh, good.
They'll be. I'll just stand behind you though. I'll have to have.
So
It's a trap.
they'll spend lots of time with me then.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah. But yeah, no. 1 or 2 books is no problem. They're happy to sign it. It's good.
Okay, I'm excited because I found all of my little. I buy a lot of digital, but sometimes books I think are really like they really have an impact on me, and then I want to have them in physical. Even like I don't even want to read them in physical necessarily. I just want to have like this copy of a thing that I thought was really good, like the Optimus Prime issues. Those 2 issues consecutively with the big reveal and the big history lesson.
Those were good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I brought those too.
Well, I'm gonna get them signed first.
We could do them together.
Yeah,
Partner
but
up.
you still have 80 to get signed after that, so. Just kidding, 78. because that's
78.
too-
78 is
yeah,
less.
come on, that's
I'll help
reasonable.
them.
Much more
We'll
reasonable.
make those 2 be really nice and normal, and then you'll
But
have
I
78.
double up on them, right? Like so, the 80 is like
100
say.
wait.
Well, so
What is it?
basically,
Wait,
the math.
double up?
The math is well. It's not just one person working on a book,
Oh, I thought you meant you were bringing 2 of each.
right? So
Okay.
no. So that 1 book might have 3 signatures capable of getting on it today or this weekend.
Oh, the names on the top are different people.
They are.
Okay.
Yes.
It's not just
So
a really long name.
I could spend all day tomorrow just getting books signed. It's
Sorry, I
it's a big weekend for
I
me
should
for
look
getting
for
books
Scott Pietraduro shit. La Fuente.
signed. Yeah. So
Long
no,
name.
but that's what I'm
not
trying to do this
yeah,
weekend,
fancy.
and it's but I do toy shop. I did get a sneak peek in the room. There's some really nice Takara stuff in there if you're into Takara stuff. So hope you brought dollar bills.
What's the fresh stuff? A bunch of stuff, according to my HLJ, where I forget I pre-ordered things, and it says, hey, you just paid us. A bunch of stuff just came out, but that can't possibly be here, right? Like Cordon, I just had a payment request on Cordon. Anyone out here get Cordon?
Cordon bleu?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, you can order them.
Masterpiece Police Sunstreaker? Cordon?
Cordon.
Oh, that thing. Yeah.
He's
Am I the
French.
only one who was excited about that?
It looks cool.
Okay, thank
I
you.
did not see one in there, but
It's
I'll
impossible.
be honest, I was not looking for that.
I'm trying to think what the hot toy is, so we can ask the audience if they're out for the hot toy.
Friends toys.
Quitus?
Cyclonus.
Oh, Quietus just came out, yeah.
Coming out, right?
I got that
So he has it.
yesterday morning before I left for TFcon, and I put the review up on YouTube at RFC Reviews. So if you go on there, you can watch the video for Quietus, which I think I called Quintus, because I do that thing where I read the
Fill in on-
first letter and the end of it, and Quintus made sense to me.
Let me do,
was it?
yeah.
10-second review.
Yeah, you have 10 seconds. Good or
10
bad?
second, good figure. But the one I had and another one I've seen have an issue where the cockpit will not sit flush. So it's kind of disappointing. Other than that, the figure's a 10. Absolutely amazing.
Unflushed cockpit, though, that's pretty big for some people.
Yeah. Panel lines that don't line up can just irk you.
That's a killer for me.
Is anyone out here okay with an unflushed cockpit?
We have
I don't
two.
know about this. I don't know.
Apparently, the Fans Toys rep, if you're on TFW, said that if you put enough lube on it, it will go in. And I beg to differ on that one.
That is you're leading up to an immature joke about something about lubing the unflushed cockpit. That is base. That is a base joke to make.
This was based on true facts.
I approve of it, though.
It actually happened.
It happened.
Did you lube the cockpit?
I did not lube. I didn't have time. I had to come to TFcon.
You didn't have time?
I did not have time to lube my cockpit.
Always! Always make time!
Do you get dry nut mouth?
To lube the cockpit! Yeah, I do get dry nut mouth. So anyway, we're still got a couple minutes here.
BotBots.
So why don't we? Okay. Why don't we talk about the new thing that's better than G1, BotBots?
It's a vampire cupcake. It's a cupcake that transforms into a vampire.
That's real quaint. There's also a transformer called Poo Sham. And there's a mummy transformer called King Toot. Because he's made of toilet paper and toot means fart. I don't have time for your base humor. Bunch of base
BotBots.
lubing the cockpit humor. We can talk about good, high-quality King Toot. Poo Sham, hi.
I'm just so excited about the BotBots because I want to get a couple of the food ones and have like Grimlock eating the donut. Whatever that one's name is, it's probably like...
That would be cannibalism, though, wouldn't it?
I mean, it's a donut, so...
It has a face!
Not when it's transformed.
That donut has a name, Diecast.
When I put this bag over its head, it doesn't have a face.
And make sure you lube up the cockpit.
Hey, guys. In relation to the 1986 movie...
You don't have to do this.
I just don't want you to be left out. Daryl,
Let's talk about BotBots.
Yeah, BotBots.
I think that's a way to bond with the children.
Shopkins, but they transform.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If these had come out 3 years ago, I could have introduced a whole new generation, but now they're beyond Shopkins.
Why don't you
My
just
family.
They're lost.
bring Shopkins up to
beyond
them or
rescue.
drag Shopkins down to them?
I'm just worried they're too small and like little kids are gonna eat them.
They're an inch tall.
Well, I mean, technically, if they're small enough, it doesn't matter because the way that test works is if it goes all the way down the windpipe right into the stomach, it's safe.
I mean, because I may eat them. I mean, one drunken night and I'm hungry.
That little donut.
Oh, let me, you know what? I'm going to flip your face up so I can see it. Beg.
It's gonna be a special night.
I want the food ones so that I can feed them to Grimlock. I mean, technically, it does relate to the '86 movie because there is a whole scene of these, people who feed things to Sharkticons.
Lube your cockpit.
We'll work that in.
Lube your cockpit.
Well, they're supposed to reciprocate, right?
Yeah. What? Reciprocate being eaten?
Well, no. I mean, you
It's a
mentioned
famous
the
line from the
'86
'86
movie.
and you're not giving it respect.
I'm sorry. Like I said, it's been a while. I remember like Ba Weep,
Bob Weep, Groundhog Weep,
but the rest of
Bob.
it's in the next minute. And I can't remember.
I don't believe that's true at all.
Yeah, you got me. It's on one of the cards. I can't. Is anyone? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What happens if you got to a line that's stopped at the minute mark? Like, one shall stand.
That's a knowing sigh.
It is it's a big deal to the minute-by-minute podcaster.
That's the problem.
You have to make a decision. And what our decision was basically we stopped it right in midstream. We had
That's the
to
right
stay
choice.
true to the minute. We
That's
had to
the right
stay
choice.
true to the minute. It's awkward sometimes.
Yeah.
You got to remind the listener what's going on.
power
That's
through.
your duty.
They're scared.
I mean, that's a two-part statement anyway, so I feel like that's a good discussion to break in half. One shall stand. But someone's going to stand up?
What are they
I don't know.
Find out next week.
One shall
Another
fall.
will also continue to stand. We'll all stand together, I guess. I don't know.
Did you have any? I keep bringing it back to this whole concept. But it's
There are very
fascinating.
few. I will say there are very few moments where it was like that. We lucked out. Transformers the movie was perfectly planned for this
Turns
sort of
out that, yeah.
exercise.
They intended it all along.
Nelson Shin was counting the frames out to make sure every single period happened on a 1 minute mark.
Some douchebag someday is going to want to analyze this. Minute by minute.
Nelson Shin, are you in here? I'm hearing your voice. That plays better if it's an audio podcast, admittedly. Flint Dilly's back there? Oh, geez. Oh, hi.
We'd like to invite you to our Sunday event, breaking down
Sunday.
Transformers the movie minute by minute with the Autopod Decepticast.
It's worth it.
Special guest Flint Dilly.
Not confirmed.
All I'm going to say is we tried doing that once when we did one of these podcasts, and Jeremy remembers that, where it was like, oh, maybe get the voice actors on. And like that got out of hand. That got out of hand. Hi, Jeremy. Jeremy, by the way, one of the hardest working men of hardware men in podcasting.
Yeah, podcast hardware.
He's a hard man. He knows what's going on.
Does he have to
Hi.
leave his costume?
No.
BotBots.
Everyone look at
BotBots.
They're amazing.
Final comment on BotBots. I want to go to you because you're a generation that doesn't have.
You're the generation they're targeted for.
That's mean.
You guys like penis toys.
I was going to say that you're coming from, I think, a perspective that it does not have the ability to immediately, even though clearly everyone loves BotBots and they think they're better than G1. You're not from a generation that's able to look at them and go like, well, now look at what they're doing with Transformers. Like, at least not quite as directly as like someone who's looking at it from the perspective of the 80s.
It's more like, wow, this is fun. Like, just
Yeah.
like look at all the fun we've had so far, and how it's always somewhat serious. And it's like, let's stop pretending it's serious. And it's amazing what you can do when you stop pretending it's serious.
And the best part is none of them are established characters reimagined. It's an entire cast of brand new characters. And
You mean Captain Toot wasn't
King Toot
King Toot?
It's a King Tut pun. Come on.
called yourself a
I didn't see them in the third party's bread. I'm sorry.
These third-party buyers, I tell you, you start saying real Transformers names to them like King Toot and Poosham, and they go like, huh, what, is that real?
That can't be real. It sounds made up.
To be honest, I'm not sure if Poosham is real, but I didn't want to go and double-check, because it felt really right.
It felt right, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
It's just how
Are
it
there
feels.
characters and personas attributed to these new toys?
Oh yeah, in the artwork, they are oddly dripping with, like you were saying, which one's a vampire?
The cup, it's a cupcake.
Yeah.
The cupcake that turns into a vampire. And in the picture of it, it's him like going, ah, and then there's an ice cream cone next to him, and he shit himself, and there's ice cream right behind his butt. Like literally.
Is that the pencil mustache ice cream cone?
I think so, yeah.
He has a pencil mustache. He's great. And then there's a completely different one. There's a
cannoli?
Transformer who is a fountain
I thought it was
drink
ice
cup
cream.
with a straw. And then another Transformer who's not the vampire is just sitting on his head drinking out of the straw that is going into his brain. And the cup has a look on his face that like looks really specifically lost, hurt, and unhappy. Because something he can't see is drinking his mind.
Has it been established how much of this is a happy accident versus a planned thing?
So they said a mist of energon, an energon cloud, descended on a shopping mall.
Okay.
And everything in the mall
Did that not
turned.
happen in
Wait,
the
did they
Michael
actually
Bay
say
movies?
that?
Yeah,
Is that
it's in the
basically
blurb.
what happened?
It said the Allspark for the Bay movies, but this is when they're saying it's a cloud of energon gas landed in a shopping mall.
Okay.
And that's where they all came from.
All right.
And that's why the Toilet Troop, which is the cool faction, that's why they're the coolest faction, because where are the hardest, like most badass characters going to come from? The people who used to be components of a mall washroom.
Well,
things
no,
they've seen.
I would like to think that these were items for sale in the malls, so
have
they're
not
not
been
used.
On clearance?
Because
Oh, no. King Toot's.
He's seen things.
how are you getting a used roll of toilet paper?
King Toot ain't a full roll. King Toot awoke into consciousness knowing squares of himself have been discarded.
He's a couple sheets short of a full roll.
He might be 2-ply, but he's not 27 sheets, whatever. I had something going on there. We'll fix it in the edit. Jeremy's real good at this. But BotBots, anyone in the crowd here? Any of you guys been keeping up with BotBots? Anyone kind of excited about it? All right.
BotBots? Who's buying BotBots for your kids? I mean,
Or yourself.
Self-and your kids.
or your Grimlock. I mean, don't judge.
Okay, for your siblings. How about for your parents?
Oh, that's a really good idea.
All right. Introduce your parents, get the drug going. Here, have some Shopkins. But guess what? that donut has a face. Don't eat it.
It has a name.
Have you guys seen the donut's face? Because the donut, his face, his eyes are just 2 dots, and his mouth is just a straight line.
He's just done.
Like I said, King Toot looks like he's seen
The
something.
circle of a donut is not its mouth.
No, the face is on the top of the circle of the donut. It flips
But
forward.
at least they were creative. I mean,
He
they
looks.
didn't take the easy way out.
He looks like a donut that man tried to eat and got away.
But he got away.
It was in his mouth even.
There's not many that get away from me.
No, it's usually like someone bumps you, right? And like,
Yeah. Fell on the floor.
Like donuts kind of have built-in handles in that they're just one handle that keeps going forever, because that's what circles are. Look it up. It's science.
Are there going to be any BotBots here?
No, they're not out yet.
They just got announced days ago.
I want them.
Well, they'll be out.
My Grimlock is hungry.
Well, feed him normal, non-emotive food that doesn't look like it wants to live.
That 80s television tube TV BotBot, that thing, I mean, most of those are at a recycling facility by now.
What about the one that's a pair of scissors?
I mean,
He wants to fight the Rock.
Whoa, and there is a rock! And King Toot's made of paper!
What? We just cracked the code.
Who's Unicron?
who is Unicron?
That's too easy. Don't be predictable.
The toilet would be Unicron.
Are you guys still looking for pictures of the donut?
The toilet, because, all the other things can get flushed down it.
Yeah, he can suck all the other things in.
There's already the toilet is a secret Unicron.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like in Beast Wars 2. There was a secret, right? There's a secret Unicron.
I'd be curious who hates BotBot, or is that concept of it? Is anybody old enough to
Well, I mean, this room is
stake in that ground?
this asking a lot of someone now. Well, I mean, Daryl's always gonna.
I don't like it.
No?
Nope.
Okay. Well, why?
I think it's dumb and not G1.
He doesn't have a soul.
He's sitting right next to you. You're just like, yeah, no.
I want more G1.
But he's also, you see, even the people who hate BotBots want to be helpful.
Be helpful.
All right.
Yeah.
You're not prejudiced
No.
against BotBots.
No.
Do you want me to look for it?
I'm downloading the press package.
You could just look up a picture.
Just Google.
But this way I get them all.
See, he's starting to get into BotBots. He wants to see all of
I have to
them.
get the pictures.
I'm gonna take a pause to eat a nut.
I feel like my brain is
You know what really confused me is I'm like thinking about this as we're talking about BotBots on the podcast, and I'm like, what aisle are these going to be in the stores? Like, I'm going to have to search for these.
No, they're going to be in
Endcaps.
toiletries. It depends on the team.
Oh, they're gonna
Yeah, they're going to sell them in the actual section.
Man, I want to buy some donuts. Whoa, there's a tiny donut in there.
God darn it, it's a face.
It says Transformers on it.
There we go.
Because
I better buy that. Those movies made billions.
as a Transformers fan, an older Transformers fan, I've never seen the not bot shots. So what are what's
Tiny
the,
Turbo Titans.
Tiny turbo changers?
the play school ones, the ones that rescue bots.
Well, they're
I've
in
never seen rescue bots in the store because they're usually in a separate
aisle.
section.
3 aisles
They're-
over.
Yeah, they're like 3 aisles
You just
over.
have to take 20 steps to get
But
there.
I never go there.
Never once? You've been curious?
No.
Oh, okay. So the way you do it, right, because I went through this. You go there, but you carry yourself as though you're there
It's a
for your
zip
kid
file,
who you don't
yeah,
have,
but I'm like,
maybe. And then if people start looking at you, you just tell yourself, like, no, I'm looking for these rescue bots to introduce my scion to the beautiful franchise of... And then you go like, hey, that looks pretty cool, that Blades, I'm going to buy it.
I used to always get really self-conscious in Toys R Us because they were the only ones consistently that would be like, would you like a gift receipt for this? And I'm like, no, it's for me.
It's not a gift.
So the way you flip that is you make it sound like they're nuts. Like, would you like gift receipt? No. Jokes.
See, but sadly, his problem's already solved. He doesn't have to deal with that anymore.
Yeah, I'm in the clear. Till Jeffrey's Toy House or whatever it's going to be.
Oh, that whole, finding like a dead giraffe and like puppeteering it.
Oh, God.
Hey, what if we put it on like a meat suit? Oh, weird. When we started doing this, all this like black ichor just started coming out of its face. Weird. The suit is talking even though it's a hollowed out dead giraffe. It just keeps chanting money. Well, we better open a toy store. I'm sure this will all go well. Strange, a throne of dead bodies just formed in the middle of the store, and the suit tells me to sit upon it. I find myself wanting to bellow, conquest, conquest. And then the, Cthulhu words.
Did you just write this fan fiction right now?
I'm kind of like half remembering something I said on my own podcast a while ago. But
It wouldn't be a bad idea to set up like a paper mache Jeffrey here, just
like really sad looking.
I was gonna say,
if we could fill it with BotBots, that would be
Oh man,
even better. But
just the donut one.
that would give it soul.
It sounds like, do third parties have like a 2-month window of opportunity to create faux BotBots?
Perhaps. Well, no. What it is that once BotBots go out of fashion, then the third party that's having the worst time will be like, hey, what if
Masterpiece BotBots.
Okay, but seriously.
Full-size donut.
A toilet, a full toilet. It's functional.
They have a toilet coming out, but it's not a transformer.
Yeah, it's different. That's a good toy.
I pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
What's it called? What's the name?
Well, I did.
What's the name of it?
I don't know.
I don't remember now.
It's like a little samurai fat ninja guy.
It's like Dirty Master.
It's by the people who did the bug thing, right?
That's very
I'm not
specific.
sure.
The
bug.
Who's got my back? The bug thing. Yeah, he knows. Don't tell him.
But yeah, I feel like 20 years down the line, we could get a masterpiece bot.
Well, I got a serious question. How do you think the odds are that Generations has like a deluxe price point bot before a deluxe price point rescue bot?
Ooh.
At this point, I feel like it's pretty likely.
Because I feel like rescue bots have been left behind in a sort of uncouth manner, given that it is the longest-lived Transformers cartoon.
Yeah.
Blur did get he
got a warrior. No,
he got a warrior, so he's not a deluxe.
Someone
but it's
brought
a
that
step
up, and
closer.
I was like, listen, a warrior was a deluxe minus the cost of like $3 more. It's an important differentiation.
Yeah.
Also, Blur was season 2. He's not G1 rescue bots. He doesn't count.
I just hope
the OG.
I just hope I get my Unicron before we get like a
Seacon.
masterpiece bot or a even a deluxe bot.
Well, we're getting close to the part where we do have to do our plugs, and I'm guessing you'd want to plug your hashtag.
Unicron
before Unicron.
Unicron before Seacons, or get Unicron made. Hasbro actually, it's interesting that you talk about that because they just started, or they. I wanted to say they started shipping the chip, but the Star Wars HasLab?
The sail barge.
Yeah, the sail barge, but no, that was another photo I saw. But yeah, what they keep hinting at, or we keep hinting at them actually, is that we want a HasLab Unicron.
Yeah.
So they know about it. They've specifically told me we know what you want. when I went to the Hasbro event at New York Toy Fair or Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con.
Comic-Con this year.
And so that's what I think you should all get behind is Unicron before Seacons.
Were you ready to shell out $1,000 for Unicron?
I don't think they would make it that expensive.
But what if it is?
What was the barge? The barge was like $500.
I swear to God, wasn't it a?
No, it wasn't $1,000. It was like $500.
Oh, those people that were buying multiple. Of
Yeah.
Supported those like $1,000.
But yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'd
So everyone
show
buy
out.
2 Unicrons.
Yeah.
And we'll get this made. Anything else you want to plug, by the way, is going on with our...
Oh, plug. We have a lot of shows, of course. Radio Free Cybertron is a network of podcasts, so we have tons and tons of podcasts. My own podcast is There Goes My Money, where we actually talk about all the stuff that gets pre-ordered or goes up for pre-order that you can purchase or, pre-order.
So they become free toys later.
So you pre-order and you can pay for them in advance, and then it doesn't feel like you're actually paying for them when they ship 3 years
about
later.
It. It's a surprise. Yeah. It's like, look at this free toy that past me paid for.
I got free Mythic Legions coming that some older, previous, younger, dumb Chris bought, and whatever. That guy's gone.
How is he older and younger at the same time?
I don't know, man. Because time travel's weird. Okay. All right. Don't ask me about. What, you got anything to plug?
So if you want to listen to my show again, probably one of the younger, at least, Transformer podcasts out there, Steel City Bots. The network is Nerdy Geek Talk, so there's plenty of different stuff. We talk about Star Wars and plenty of other random things whenever we get the chance, but Steel City Bots is the main thing, so yeah, definitely check us out there.
And over here, did you guys find a picture of the donut?
No. Okay, I think you made this up. There is no donut.
The donut is like the most iconic one.
Why don't you
draw a smiley face?
Give us no. I'll find it.
He's like the Optimus Prime of the BotBots.
Is he really? Okay.
Why don't you tell us about what you've got going on at the show?
All right, quick. So first, I'll plug the podcast. Of course, Autopod Decepticast is what it's called, and again, it's all about the '86 movie. There's a lot of tangential stuff that happens, but that's the core of it. '86 movie, and then again Sunday. Our little presentation is basically a distillation of what we do on the podcast. There's a few kind of insights and stories we're going to share. It's kind of a variety show, really, because there's going to be really a game show element to it. There's going to be prizes to win. There's going to be trivia to be had. It's going to be some Sunday tomfoolery.
And
it is at 3 p.m. competing with the card games. So if you are not good at those card games and you've lost, feel free to wander on over to this room and enjoy what we've got going on, or just give up on the card games. I mean, I
got the donut.
You were never going to win.
Here's the donut.
Never going to win.
I got the donut from behind.
Oh, look at that face.
That is not what I expected.
That's like Isaac's face from Binding of Isaac. Literally the eyes.
Honestly, this is creepy in a lot of ways. I would have preferred if the mouth was the hole.
No, this is instead a little slit. Little mouth slit.
He's tired.
What
Daryl,
photos
and sorry, before we move on, I also want to shout out, thank you, Mike Seibert, who is a great podcaster out of Seattle, who is in the audience here with us today, and he's going to be helping us out on the podcast and hosting our game show elements. So if you're into pop culture and music, he's a great guy, and he's been a great supporter of us, and he's going to be helping us out that day. So
nice.
The donut looks sad because he knows he's going to get eaten.
Messed up. Daryl, anything you plug?
Well, yeah, we are Transmissions, like I said, and we are a weekly show, and we have a Patreon for anyone who's looking to support a podcast, and we do extra stuff for our Patreons. So we have a monthly show called Declassified that gets put out, and we go on a deep dive. We give swag. And we do deep dives on all kinds of Transformers topics. We did one that went 2.5 hours or so on, Chris was on it, and was on fixing and modding, and I keep getting compliments on it. It was a really good show, fixing and modding your toys and keeping them working. It was a really good show.
Did you include lubing the cockpit?
Well, I only just learned about lubing the cockpit, so at the time...
episode 2 is coming soon.
Write that down for the next episode.
I will, yeah. But we also do transmissions extras when we have time. That's just when we, generally when we're setting up the show and getting everything going.
What's causing this?
I don't know. Is that yours? But yeah, so we just have those, and when we're setting up the show, we'll talk about like a movie that we have all seen or something like that, and then we'll just kind of record it and put it out. But if you come to the Sunday podcast panel, I don't know what these losers did, but we brought prizes. So we have prizes to give away at the Sunday podcast panel, and so if you come to that, we have I think it's G1 reissue hot rod is what we brought.
Do you have raffle tickets?
We did. We brought raffle tickets.
Because I was at the Target today and I had a moment where I was like, should we just get some just in case?
We brought a very large roll.
Well, that's another panel that's going on. If you guys stick around at the end of the show, when everything else is closed, there'll be another one of these with more people, more prizes, more adventure, more Q&A, more nuts, maybe even a little bit of love. I've also got 2 other panels going on, 11 a.m. Saturday and 11 a.m. Sunday. On Saturday, I believe, it is the fan media panel, where we're going to do something about making videos, and it's going to be a little bit more, hopefully, focused on the stuff that people get engaged with and enjoy themselves with at those panels. I'm trying to refine that one a bit. However, on Sunday, that panel is perfect. That's why do we enjoy the toy 2.1? Because I did number 2 at Toronto, so it's been enhanced.
By a whole point?
Actually, but it's 2.11 because it's enhanced with also my Con Bravo experience, where I did one that was not necessarily focused on toy collecting. I met a couple who are VHS collectors who got involved with that panel. I learned so many things. Did you know, not to go on here because we're almost done.
No, go on.
Did you know, thank you, VHS collectors, they don't just collect I bought Beastmaster, for instance, right? Every single version that came out might have had every single language, every single release, might have had different trailers, might have had different language, might have been a different cut. Every single one of those has a different cover because it has a different runtime printed on it. Those are all variants.
I just thought that media is only good for so many years and then it just self-destructs.
They don't really play them. They just collect them.
I'm like, you're collecting something that probably doesn't play.
Yeah. And because there's not many VHS collectors, they said, oh, absolutely, we get like friends and family, we'll just dump buckets of VHS tapes on us instead of putting it in the landfill because they feel like it's going somewhere, and then we put half of them in the landfill because they're garbage. But please come out to that panel. It's on Sunday at 11. If I'm correct, it's Why Do We Enjoy the Toy 2? It's a very fun panel. I've been having a lot of fun doing for the last year and a half or so. It's very conversational, very participatory, and it's trying to think just about why we do the thing we do outside of just acquiring the stuff we acquire. So that about brings us to the wrap of this panel. This was the Podcasters Roundtable. This was the bottom slice. This is the bottom slice of the sandwich that is TFcon. This is the hard-working, the slim, lean slice. Yeah. It's the slice that carries the most weight. Please come back on Sunday for the top slice. That's the big, floofy, overbaked one that can be like twice the size of the bottom slice, because whatever, people eat hamburgers with a knife and fork nowadays anyway.
I feel like it would be the bottom slice because it would be the one that all the flavor of the sandwich just kind of dripped into. So, and that's where we're going to talk about things we liked at TFcon throughout the weekend and stuff like that.
But also the backwash.
Also, come to that panel and get a big old mouthful of TFcon drippings and backwash.
Yeah. Cheesy backwash.
Good kind of cheesy backwash, not the bad one. Anyway, stay tuned. Stay where you're seated because the opening ceremonies are about to start. And we're going to hear from organizers. You're going to hear about what's going on at the show. And by the way, because he's up here right now, I want you all to give a big hand to our tech team, because our tech team, they are hardworking and also incredibly patient when we inexplicably demolish microphones like this. And want to, record feeds. Also, huge shouts out to all the podcasters who weren't on this panel specifically. Everyone's going to be up on Sunday. I'm just going to say it. Maybe they won't all be up, but generally everyone's going to be up. Jeremy in the back is doing a lot of hardware work for us, recording a copy of this in hard copy. So thank you, Jeremy.
On a cassette.
Yeah, proper hard.
It's going to explode.
It's only good if it can degrade. And Aaron was in the back at some point. I don't recognize him anymore because he has no hair. Oh, that's him. I actually didn't know that was you. I thought you were someone else. I think that's Duggernaut next to him. Yeah, all right. These glasses work. Anyway, I'm just killing time. Thank you guys, by the way, for putting up with me yelling so much.
You were screaming, yeah.
Would anyone? I get excited. Would you like some nuts?
I would like more nuts, and I'd like
we do
to
like
thank,
a TFcon chant. Is there like a special chant?
Thank you.
Oh,
really
what?
dug into
Is
this.
there like a TFcon chant? I'm
I
like,
turn around and you're like, is there a special chant? Would you like a nut?
I'm good.
Okay. No, I mean, if there's a chant, it's like TFcon.
That was amazing.
Chicago!
You got the
I think I heard a boo.
You got the power.